talking to you today from the book of St. John, the 3rd chapter, beginning with the first verse. The book of St. John, the 3rd chapter, beginning with the first verse. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest except God be with you. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Using for a subject or text at this time, you must be born again. You must be born again. Not that you might be. Not that you could be. Not that you should be. But you must be born again. Meaning that you got the choice. The doorknob is on your side. But if you don't do it, then you're going to suffer the consequence. You must be born again. If you are born again and accept the plan of salvation, then you will be able to escape an eternal damnation death. But if you choose to live for the devil and enjoy sin for a season and pay God no mind and don't take heed to his word, then automatically you choosing to spend your eternity in hell. God don't make nobody go to hell. You go there because you want. You make the choice, my brothers and my sisters, to go to hell. God don't make nobody. He made you a free moral being. Created you in his images that you will know how to make good choices in order to have good consequences. So therefore, if you don't make it to heaven, don't blame God. Don't put it on your neighbor. But it's you. Every individual have to make that choice for itself. Mama can't make it for you. Sister can't make it for you. Brother can't make it for you. You got to make that choice for yourself. Why should we be born again? See, just to walk up and tell a person that don't know Jesus, you must be born again, not saying too much to him. But to be born again means a second time. Done had one birth, but need another. Got 5 senses. Physically, don't have no handicaps, but yet need to be made over. Help me somebody. Something is still missing. Oh yeah, it's got 120 over 80 blood pressure. But I still need to be born again. Got a 20/20 vision eyesight. Oh yeah, it's that I can read small print stuck on the wall. But I still need something to happen to those eyes other than a 20/20, so I must be born again. Why do I need to be born again? Well, the natural man, which is the nature of Adam. In Corinthians, I believe, the 2nd chapter and about the 14th verse, says the natural man cannot understand the things pertaining to God, for they are foolishness unto him. Help me somebody. You know, what are you saying, brother pastor? Well, the natural man can't understand how God was in the world and the world was made by him. Help me somebody. The natural man can't understand that. The natural man can't understand how he was in the world and yet ruled heaven. At the same time, can't understand how he was God and the Son of Man. Both at the same time. Natural man don't understand that. Am I right about it? Natural man don't even understand what make you cry and shout sometime and ain't nothing to say. You don't understand that. Am I right about it? That's why when you start shouting, the whole church forget about the preacher preaching and go to looking around and say, oh, what's the matter with her? Somebody sure must have done her wrong and everything. Wonder what? Her children must be going astray. Or somebody's sick and they ain't telling it and everything. That's because you are a natural man. You hadn't been born again. If you had been born again, then you would know that the joy of the Lord will make you cry sometime. Help me somebody. Make you run and ain't nothing behind. Yeah. If you had been born again. Oh, yes, as the Bible said, the natural man, Paul was looking at when he was the natural man. And he wrote Timothy in the 3rd chapter and the 16th verse, he said, without controversy. I know it's there. Get it in your Bible. If you don't think I'm just talking to you, get it. Am I right about it? You're a Bible scholar. But it said, without controversy, great are the mysteries of godliness. God was manifested in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached in the world, and received back up in the glory. God was in all them places at one time. Help me somebody. But the natural man can't understand that. Am I right about it? Yeah, no, I'm right about it. And at this time, Jesus kept saying, you must be born again. Why should I be born again? Well, Adam fell at the beginning of creation in the garden. God told him that the day that he ate off that tree that he would surely die. And he ate, and the spirit man of Adam died instantly the minute he disobeyed God. Help me somebody. And later on the body died. Am I right about it? Time didn't work on him. Age didn't age on him. But when he ate off that tree, he went to getting old. And every minute was getting closer to his death. But the spiritual man died the minute he ate off that tree. Well, what are you talking about, preacher? Well, because sin didn't exist, God created Adam holy with a spiritual man working and functioning in his inside. But when Adam ate off that tree, the spirit part of Adam died. Therefore, he couldn't do the things he used to do. Am I right about it? The reason why Adam could name everything in creation is because he had a spiritual man as well as a natural man, and he could spiritually discern. He didn't just call it something, he named them according to their character. Somebody think Adam just looked up and said, monkey, baboon, lion. No, he didn't. Adam was in the image of God. Nothing God does just speak to be speaking, and it ain't good for you to do it. That's why they tell you to be slow to speak. Am I right about it? You don't just jump up and say something just to say something. God told Adam, and got Adam to name all of the creatures of the earth. Adam would think on them. He counseled within himself. That's why I tell you, something is wrong with you if you don't counsel with yourself every now and then before you make a decision. Don't just jump up and do it. You wring your hands and cry. But counsel within yourself. Talk to you. If you complete and you're normal, then your soul, which is deep down in it, we call it a conscience. God is always down to direct us. But if you don't talk to yourself, you disobey God. I know I'm right about it. God down in you, ain't no such thing really, is no conscience. It's God. God lives down in the pits of everybody's soul in one way or another, whether he's been born again or whether he's a sinner. God still talks to him. He might not stay there because the house ain't clean, but he talks to him and let the Spirit tell him, come unto me. All you that labor and heavy laden, I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I'm meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest to your soul. Other word, he come to the sinner and tell him you're having a hard time, but I can fix it for you. Telling him if your heart broken into, bring it to me, and I'll fix it for you. Help me somebody. Oh yes, if it seems like the world coming down on you, bring it to me. Help me somebody. That's what God's saying. But our trouble is that we hear that my conscience. The devil wants you to think that's a conscience, but that's God. Help me somebody. Ain't nothing about you would tell you nothing good or nothing right if it wasn't God. Am I right about it? I know I'm right about it. And therefore, my brothers and sisters, we're saying to you, when Adam fell, Adam had the ability. And when he looked at the monkey, he seen how the monkey, no doubt, was swinging with his tail. And he was never still, and he just wiggling and twitching and no doubt chewing and ain't got nothing in his mouth. And Adam's wiseness through the Spirit of God said, that's a monkey. So what you call him? Monkey. Why? Because his characteristic fits monkey. If you don't believe it, look up monkey and see those monkeys. Hey, he cuts up. He's an animal that swings by his tail and studies characteristics. And he'll even chew back if you give it to him. And make like he's driving a car and all that. He ain't driving nothing because he's a clown. That's what the word monkey means. Help me somebody. I know I'm right about it. Then he looked on around and he looked at the lion. And that spiritual wisdom and that spiritual discernment talked back to Adam. And it told Adam, look at the muscles he got. Look at the whiskers out by his head and how strong he is. And every now and then when he would holler, the holler no doubt would tickle the inner eardrum of Adam. And Adam would listen at the power in his voice. And how he could, no doubt, when they played, because sin didn't exist, that how he ruled the other animals that were there. And Adam knows right then he ought to be the king. So we ought to call him Lion. Help me somebody. He didn't just come up on that because Webster wasn't here. Am I right about it? Adam was before Webster. Am I right about it? And the wisdom of God is above education. Help me somebody. It's all right to go to school and learn how to spell your name, but if you want to preach the gospel, you better know Jesus. Help me somebody. You can't witness effectively by education because education will tell you 2 fish and 5 barley loaves of bread won't hardly feed a little boy. But with God's arithmetic, it tell you that in a spiritual education will tell you that it fed 5,000 men, excusing the women and children. Am I right about it? I know I'm right about it. Oh yeah, so at this time, knowing how Jesus had come through the land and how he had preached the gospel and the scribes and the Pharisees didn't really understand him. So he goes on and said there was a man of the Pharisees, told his name Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. He was not only a Pharisee, but he also could rule through the courthouse. He had power amongst his people. Sanhedrin council, and also with the Pharisees. He could standing in good shape with everybody. Oh, yes, and it said the same came to Jesus by night. He didn't go in the daytime, but he went in the night. Oh, yes, being the big shot he was, no doubt had sometime made judgment on various occasions. No doubt had sat as moderator. When they come to their business meeting. Oh, yes, did not desire for the world to know that here's a man with a doctorate degree. Got to stoop down to somebody with a high school diploma. Help me, somebody. That's what he's saying. He said that I know I would go in the open, in the daylight, but that would embarrass me. Oh, yes, and people that I've been leading, and sometimes I tell one to go, and he go. And then again, I tell one to come, and he come. Oh, yeah, but if they know that I had to go and talk with Jesus, to try to learn something all about my problem, nobody would want to listen to me again. Oh, Lord, and so I heard Nicodemus with common ordinary sense as well as education. When he sat down and counseled within himself, said, I'm going to him, but I'm going to wait until the sun go down. And when the night falls and there's nobody else around, I'm going to slip to Jesus and let him tell me when his kingdom going to come and how it's going to function, that I can be ahead of the Sanhedrin council. I could hear him saying about the miracles and all the work that he'd have done. He go overthrow the Roman government. So if I can learn and get to him in time, when he began to rule, no doubt he'll give me a seat somewhere in his kingdom. Am I right about it? So I heard trying to undermine Jesus. So when I get there, I won't call him what we've been calling him. We've been calling him a wine bibbler and say he was preaching without the prince of the devil, known as Beelzebub. But when I get down, I'm going to call him a good name. I'm going to call him the same thing that everybody been calling me. And if I call him a good name, I believe he'll listen to me and tell me the secrets of the coming of his kingdom that I heard when he got there. Knocked on the door, thought Jesus didn't know who he was, but I heard Jesus say, even though I never met you, but come on in, Nicodemus, sit down and rest a little while. And Jesus, when he got in there, before he could ask his question, I heard him with his compliment. Sometime in your journey, when people get ready to throw you down and try to pull a trick on you, the first thing they do is compliment you. You're a good boy. I've been watching you. You didn't watch him for no good. You was trying to find fault on him. Am I right about it? But you must be born again. And I heard Nicodemus said, Rabbi, we know you a teacher that come from God. No man, am I right about it? Elijah, even Isaac and Jacob, no man, nobody Well, I heard Jesus stopped him right there. Said, you don't have to ask me for what you come for. I already know what you're trying to lead up to. Valley, valley, yes, he did. Shall the man be born again? He can't see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus, you come to try to find out about the kingdom. You ain't got nothing to understand it would. You must be born again. I heard, good God Almighty, I heard Nicodemus said, how can a man be born again when he old? Can he enter to his mother's womb for the second time and be born? Can I ask you hush my question? I already know I can't get it from mama. Jesus explained that. I heard him say, marvel not what I said to you. You must be born again. The wind blow where it wanna, and you hear the sound thereof, but you can't tell where the wind come from. When it stops, you don't know where it goes. So is everyone born of the kingdom. You must, when you be born, when you get Jesus in your inside, you understand it better by and by. Yeah, ain't he all right? Do you know him? If you know him, stand up on your feet. Tell him, yeah. The law of nature is to produce after this kind. Yes, it is. You could get back in your mama. You still come back a sinner. Sinners produce sinners. That which is flesh is flesh. That which is spirit is spirit. You must be born of the Spirit of God. Mama don't have nothing to help you. Father ain't got nothing to help you. You got to have Jesus. Yeah, Jesus, the only one. Ain't he all right? If you know he's all right, tell him yes. Yeah. Yeah. I got to quit here. Yes, I am. We got but 30 minutes. 30 minutes already gone. But one of these days, I got to leave here. Will you be ready? Will you have your ticket in your hand? One of these days, I got to lay this old body down. Yeah, when I leave, I ain't gonna hold the world nothing. I ain't gonna hold the gospel, because I'm gonna tell it every time I get a chance. I might not be loved by nobody, but every now and then I'm gonna have to tell it. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Do you know him? If you know him, tell him yeah. coming back. He told me he coming back. I'ma sit here, wait on him. One of these days, he coming back. Storm might rise, wind might blow, but I'ma stay there. He coming back. Might get sick, don't never get well, but I'ma sit right there, cause he coming back. One of these old days, when this life warfare's over, I wanna have the well done, well done, well done. Hallelujah. As soon as my feet strikes out, won't be trouble no more. I know the storm. Yeah. There's no secret what God can do, what He done for others, He'll do it for you. Storm and sing, hallelujah. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Might not have this chance anymore. I know the storm. Yeah, sitting on the bank of joy. Trouble no more. No more sickness. No more misusing me. No more aches. No more pain. But just sat on the banks of joy, waiting for Jesus to take me to the other side. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. Well, never been to heaven, but I've been told, Lord, the gates are pearly, street of gold, but I know the storm. Hallelujah. Yeah. Talking about, but those that don't have one, they know what I'm talking about. It's past, my mother called me to her bed. Lord, these are the words my mother said. Son,